Mr. Rajamouli, welcome on board Hungama.
Thank you. Thank you.
Huge congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
So my first question to you is that you was pretty much used to all these 1,000 figures by now. So does it surprise you when you cross it each time?
I mean, it's just 2 times, Faridoon, not a lot of times. But I mean, if you ask me how I feel about it, because now I'm close to 50 years old, I got white hair, white beard. I'm trying to keep a very straight face, very dignified face, but inside I'm doing a Naacho Naacho.
That's amazing. That's very well put. So one thing I'd like to share that the level of humility that you display is so inspiring in so many ways. Does that element of vanity never cross you with the sort of accolades that are coming all across the world, not only in terms of box office numbers, but even in terms of respect, the way people display on you? It's mind-boggling.
I mean, I'm only a human, Faridoon. Of course, the praises get to my heart sometimes, but I'm born and brought up in a very traditional middle class family. So right from our childhood, we were taught to, behave properly, be respectful, not to just be to what you say exuberant in your showing your emotions and all that. And also I have a family. Even if I cross the line a little bit, I'll have a rap on my head, so I better behave normally. But of course I do get a little bit carried away sometimes, but I try to be as normal as possible.
Right. So I was reading one of your interviews, and you said that when RRR was postponed after, like, it was earliest supposed to release on January 7th. So your father, the great Mr. Vijayendra Prasad, he told you that you should keep working, you should keep coming up with ideas, and that's when you came up with that entire concept for Mahesh Babu's film, that is your next film. So that element of I think workaholic element, that element of karma, does that come from your father?
I'm not at all like my father. He's a real workaholic. He works 24/7, 365 days a year. I mean, I work like him as long as I'm on the production. But once the film is over and once it is out, I would really like to take a long break to recuperate. But he's relentless. He continuously calls me, continuously badgers me, saying that, okay, you had enough of a break, come, let's go to work. But I try to, please give me some time, let me just cool down a little bit, give me a little bit time. And today morning I had to make him sit and say, please, I just need to close the book of RRR before I can actually get completely immersed into the next project. Please don't push me so hard, give me a little bit time. I had to beg him just today morning.
That's amazing. All right, and so we've had a pandemic for the last 2 years, and it's been a very difficult time for everyone within the film industry. And one of the unanimous feedbacks that has been coming in is that across the board, people from all across the country, various states, all communities, they're coming together and celebrating this film. It's giving a lot of happiness to a wide strata of people in theaters. Yeah. What does that tell you? How that element of happiness that you're providing to people?
Of all the accolades or all the praises that I receive for RRR, not just me, my whole team, the biggest thing, the takeaway is this one, Faridoon, because see, we make a product, but the way you experience that product in a cinema is a completely different manner compared to an OTT or a television. No, you enjoy that in a collective way, in a community way. You don't know who is the person sitting next to you, but for that 2.5 or 3 hours, there is an unseen connection between all the audience, and the way you experience it, it's a kind of celebration that happens. That is something only cinema can provide. Only film can provide. And unfortunately, pandemic took away that celebration from us for a period of 2.5 years. But if RRR has brought that back to the theaters, I think that would be the greatest achievement for the team RRR.
All right. So I've been reading your interviews, and you understand the practical side of the business. You understand that it's a commercial business. There are costs to be recovered, and all these things have to be taken into account, because you cannot consider it entirely in terms of the artistic element, the level of satisfaction that a poet gets after writing a poem, for example. But at the same time, for you, so it's very obvious that you're not making projects. You are reliving your dreams. As Tarak said, that for Iga, you had mosquitoes, not mosquitoes, you had flies hibernating in your fridge, and you were studying them. So cinema is more than merely like regular thing for you. It's like your dream passion. So when you are conceptualizing a project for a film, for example, how important is that element of intention for you in terms of when you're writing it, that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like you were saying, it is very difficult to put commerce and art separate. No, especially in films, they are always clubbed together. But which leads which one? Is the commerce leading the art, or art leading the commerce? Makes a whole lot of difference. For me, when we are writing, when we get into the writing of the film, I take the commerce part completely away. We just sit together and keep writing, keep conceptualizing, keep dreaming about what can be done about it. Completely putting away the commerce part out of it. Now we completely make the story, which is very, very exciting for us. Once it is done to a maximum extent, at least maybe 70–80%, then we start looking at the commerce part of it. So how much is this going to cost to make this? And how can you get back that? Because the producer is going to put his money on it. So then how do you get that money back? Is there some changes that you need to do to get the money back? Or can we upgrade the markets? Can we venture into new markets and get extra money from there to compensate the extra money that that is needed to put this story onto the screen? So this is the kind of pattern that we follow. One overlays onto the other, but it is always the art which leads the way forward, and the commerce follows.
So you also have this mastery over VFX, which is absolutely fabulous. The VFX sequences in RRR, for example, I think they are sensational. My question to you would be that that level of seamlessness, like when Tarak's opening scene is there, and that wild dog and tiger, they just collide, and he just escapes that portion. Obviously, that is in VFX, but the seamlessness is beautiful. Even the tiger literally just bouncing at Tarak and about to just eat him up, and that element that element of seamlessness and real element that you bring to the table is absolutely brilliant. The sequence right before the interval where Tarak, along with all those animals, the way they jump, obviously I think it's VFX, but the way it has been done and the impact it has is brilliant. How much of effort goes, as far as you are concerned, in terms of fine-tuning it, getting that perfect moment?
Mm-hmm.
What is that moment for you?
Well, like you mentioned in the question itself, it takes layers and layers of getting things right at many steps, and you have to get your things right at every step. But the point is that one thing is that we should always keep in mind that, is there some emotion driving you to that point? Or are you just trying to mesmerize the audience with the shot, or is there some element of emotion that is driving it? That we should always keep in mind. If there is emotion driving it, then you have a safety net. Always you have a safety net. Second thing is, as you are mentioning VFX, one interesting thing is, like, if you go to a film and you watch that if the photography is bad, if you say the photography is bad, then it is bad. If you say the photography is good, it is good. If the production design is bad, it is bad. If you say it is good, it is good. But when it comes to visual effects, if you say the visual effects is bad, then it is bad. If you say visual effect is good, then it is average. If you don't mention visual effects, then it is great, right? So as for us, the greatest thing is like the shots that you mentioned, whether Tarak shouting at the tiger or when the animals jumping out of the truck. 99% of the people said the shot is absolutely amazing. No one mentioned the visual effects were great at that point. No, just that the shot was amazing. We had such a great thrill, and that is such a big achievement for the visual effects department. I should really thank my visual effects supervisor Srinivas Mohan, because that is very, very hard to achieve. People mentioning the greatness of the shot but not mentioning the visual effects at all is the benchmark of achievement, and it thanks to him that we were able to achieve that.
So in my last interview, Tarak and Ram Charan, they were discussing how you made sure that synchronization of their dance steps in Naacho Naacho had to be perfect, and you made them do it again and again and again. I really would want to know from your VFX team how much time they take for you to finalize and give a go ahead. I'm sure it must be quite a task.
Yeah. I mean, see, one thing is like, see, for the last 30 or 40 years, you haven't seen a multi-starrer, right? And you are watching it for big multi-stars, two big stars coming together. And this is the only dance sequence that I have in the film. Of course, in titles, we have a different title sequence, but in the film, this is the only one that I have. So obviously, audience want to see something that is like really, really unique. Both of them are great dancers. Both of them are like top-notch dancers. But if they do the steps exactly the similar way, let me tell you, the step itself is not a difficult thing to do. It is not like a very, very difficult step to do. And for them, it is like they can get it in like say 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, they can get this step. It's not such a difficult step. But to do exactly the same way, to exactly synchronize in way, it gives us such a pleasure for the audience to watch these two stars doing it exactly the same way. Right. So I troubled them for that purpose, not that I want to trouble them. And it really, I never mentioned to them during the shooting, but it really, my heart was twisting with pain when I saw them. They were trying so hard to get that, but I can't express that at the point of time. I have to just be like a strict wooden face and say, no, you have to get it right. But I really felt bad that I made them do that so many times.
And sir, you mentioned about the two hero part and the multi-starrer part. In a way, you brought that back in a huge way. But the idea is that there will always be these comments that who's better, like say is Tarak better? As someone was saying at the press conference the other day that Ram Charan has taken all the accolades. You as a director, how do you look at these comparisons?
That was not a right way of putting it. Charan walking away with all the accolades. Of course, Charan did a splendid job and Tarak did a mind-blowing job. And as a director, I can't be more happy than the kind of output that both of them gave. But saying that one actor is better, one actor is better than the others is the way you look at it. No, if you feel for one person, then you will. In which perspective you look at it? If you look in one perspective, it might look like that one actor has been given more screen space or more elevation scenes or whatever. If you look in another way, it will look like in a different way. For example, I can say that Charan has been given the more space in the climax, and because it is the last thing that you walk away with it, Charan, it feels like Charan is taking more attention than Tarak. But if I had stopped the film after Komaram Bhimudo, actually it looked like Charan is just a bystander, and if Tarak is taking away the entire screen space. As a storyteller, you shouldn't do that kind of judgment. You should always look at it like how much empathy as an audience that you are feeling for the characters. If you look like story, if you just look at the story, Tarak saves Charan twice, right? Charan saves Tarak once. And there is one point of time where Charan says, like, for 15 years, I was not clear what my goal was. Tarak showed me the way with one song. No, I thought was a weapon is a physical thing, but Tarak showed me that weapon is an emotion. And no, he had shown me the way. For 15 years, I am searching for the path, and Tarak has shown me the path. So if you look at this perspective, then you'll feel like, oh, Tarak is the hero and Charan is just following him. But if you look at it in a completely different way and say, Tarak is saying, when Charan says, what can I give you? And Tarak says, please give me education, give me siksha. And it looks like, oh, Charan is the teacher and Tarak is the disciple. That is the perspective. But as a director, I think a story cannot be more well balanced than this in terms of the empathy that the audience receive towards each actor. And as a performers, one thing is that everyone knows Tarak is a phenomenal actor, and everyone knows Charan is a good actor, but they haven't seen this level of performance for him, and there was like completely blown away. Charan has did a splendid job, and everyone thought, oh my God, okay, we know Tarak is a good actor, but Charan is a revelation. We never expected him to do so well, which is like a great achievement for me as a director. I'm really, really happy about it. Hand on heart, if you ask me, like, if there is one sequence, if you say Komaram Bhimudo, I would really say there is no other actor on the Indian screen who can do what Tarak did in Komaram Bhimudo. Showing pain, showing betrayal, showing subjugation to the motherland, but not even batting an eyelid at the oppressor. Not just showing all these emotions, but showing all these emotions in one shot, in one frame, showing all these emotions in one frame. That is like an epitome of acting, and I think Tarak has achieved what no one can dream of for a very, very long time. I mean, it might look like a very big statement, but as a director, when I see what Tarak did on for Komaram Bhimudo, it is like it breaks my heart with pride. But at the end of it, for me, it is not just one actor taking away the accolades or one actor playing the second fiddle. I can never imagine like that. There is no RRR, there is no 1,000 crore if the balance was not perfect between these two great actors.
So one thing, as a viewing experience that I really took away from the film was that the film showcases the freedom struggle of India in the most honest manner, in terms of that everyone contributed, all the communities contributed. You've shown a Sikh guy. Tarak is undercover, like he's playing a Muslim with Muslim families, and he's protecting them. Then obviously Ram Charan is this from as well. So this representation of various communities coming together to safeguard the motherland, how crucial do you think is it for you as a creative person?
Let me be truthful to you. My intention is not to show that, okay, in this film I'll show all the communities have come together. No, that is not my intention. But at the back of my mind, I knew that as a story, everyone needs to come together, to join hands, to make what this country is about. I haven't told this to many people. uh, when the Telangana agitation was going on, no, when the state separated, two Telugu-speaking states separated, no, there was a lot of animosity between brothers. Telugu people, we are all brothers, but it was like, okay, Telanganites and Andhrites were, a lot of online banter was going on, saying we are good, you are bad, you are bad, we are good. No, this kind of thing. It pained me a lot. It pained me a lot. So, but the sentiments were so high, the tempers were so high, and I didn't know how to address it. I mean, I'm just a film writer. I'm a story writer. I'm sorry, storyteller. I didn't know how to express it, but at the back of my mind, it was there. And when the thought struck me that one hero from Telangana, one hero from Andhra can come together and join hands and becoming friends, it's my way of telling we are brothers, and when I show at one point of time that Tarak is undercover as a Muslim, and when they join their hands together and say Raju and Akhtar, it is my way of telling we are one. We are. I mean, I don't put it on the face. I don't tell that in dialogues. I won't say Hindu Muslim bye Telangana Andhra brothers. I won't put it in words, but subconsciously for me that is that we are one. We are not separate, and only when we are one can we become a strong force. Separated,
Definitely.
we cannot be a strong force.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, so I interviewed Yash the other day, and so I spoke to him that you are hearing all these pan India and regional cinema, that South is not regional anymore discussion, so you must be tired of it. So I asked him that, do you think that this acceptance of films that started with Bahubali, the way it is happening, do you think it is the beauty of the diversity of India? And he said that our cultural differences should not be our weakness; they should be our strength.
Mm.
And that's what we saw with starting with Bahubali, and obviously RRR is showcasing that. No more a Telugu film. It's cutting. It's having emotions all across the country. Even let's say Calcutta, the interiors of UP and Bihar and Rajasthan. Do you find that fascinating? As
Really,
what you said, that one cinema, one India. Do you find that fascinating?
Yeah. Really fascinating. But frankly, I have believed it for a very long time. I mean, and we had examples. It's not that Bahubali was the first film that people liked across India. We had Roja, we had Bombay from Maniratnam sir, who made films long back, which were dubbed into Hindi, and they got accepted. It is just that we didn't follow them up. And probably you might not know, Hum Aapke Kaun, Maine Pyar Kiya were dubbed into Telugu, Tamil, and they were huge hits here. The music was as big hit as any Telugu or Tamil film, or larger. It is just that we thought it was one-off phenomena and we didn't follow them up. So it is not the first time. So I had this belief, if the emotions strike the people, the language barrier can be crossed. Of course, we need to put a lot of effort to it, but if the language of the film is, the predominant language of the film is emotion and not just Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, or whatever, or regional nuances, I really believe that film will travel across the boundaries, and it traveled. I'm really happy with it, but I'm not satisfied. I still believe that we can go beyond countries into other languages. Bahubali proved a little bit with Japanese. I mean, it didn't go into the mainstream, but it crossed into Japan, who knew nothing about our culture and this thing. There was a small segment of hardcore fans for Bahubali in Japan, and now it's really heartwarming that there are a number of US people in US and UK, the Westerners, who are really liking liking RRR. Again, it's a small segment of people. We haven't penetrated into the mainstream, but for me, those are the challenges. It proves my point that we can travel across. I need to work a little bit harder to to make it even more bigger and larger. Yes.
Right. So we have the example of Korean content, for example, sir. So
Yes.
it is why not Indian content? It can surely travel.
Yeah, yeah. And it is amazing. I don't know the numbers. If you can get the numbers, please check the numbers. We think Korean pop and Korean drama has really exploded, and such a great thing. But what we don't understand is, because of Korean pop and Korean drama, the escalation in Korean food, in Korean cosmetics, is mind-bogglingly high.
Absolutely.
No, the escalation of Korean drama and Korean pop might be just 1 to 10 rupees, but because of that, the Korean cosmetics and Korean foods is like 1 to 1,000, and that happened because of Korean drama and Korean pop. That is soft power. That is what called soft power, and that is
Absolutely.
a really, really great thing that we should really look into it, understand, and try to apply for us. Because I truly believe, as a nation, as a culture, we are much more colorful, much more stronger, much more diverse, and much more beautiful than any other country in the world.
That's so beautiful. All right, sir. And so one thing I want to ask you in all earnestness. It is something that I'm not looking for any sensation element. I have a lot of respect for you. In my last interview, you had great things to say about Alia. With all these rumors doing the rounds that apparently she's not happy with the way she has been projected in Triple R. How do you look at this rumor mongering happening? Because personally, I would love to see you guys collaborating in future, because I think she's a tremendous talent, and you had such amazing things to say about her in the promotions, because you were genuinely very happy with her as an artist. So how do you look at this rumor mongering that is happening, sir?
That happens. See, let me really say, Faridoon, if there is no rumor coming on your film, then you really have to worry about it. Okay, then it is not making an impact. No, once the film starts impact, then only the rumor mongers come in and they start talking something about it. Of course, which is a big BS. I really, really like Alia. I adore her a lot. For the kind of acting prowess she has. I really look forward to work with her again, and I'm sure that she says the same thing about me. We really clicked as an actor and director. Of course, in the film, I didn't have a big role for her. The big role in the sense, I didn't have a lengthy role for her. That is how the story is. And it's not that we thought, okay, we'll make a big role and we cut it short. No, we always knew it was a small role, but it's a very, very important role in bringing these two forces together. And that's what I told her, and she wholeheartedly agreed to it. We always knew that, and we are absolutely happy working together. And I really, really look forward to work with her again.
Would you want to make say a movie with say women in the main leads? Does that thought excite you?
I was being asked this question a lot, and when I was trying to answer the question honestly, people are not understanding my point of view. Maybe I'm making it complicated. Okay, let me put it very simply. I have 1,000 lines running in my head at any point of time. Okay, and when I sit to work on the next, whichever of these 1,000 lines, and they're constantly being they're being upgraded by my father, who drums more lines into my mind. So at the point of me sitting on the story discussion, whichever line pops up and grabs my attention and doesn't leave me, I will make that film. If it's a hero-oriented film, it's a hero-oriented film. It's a heroine-oriented film, it's a heroine-oriented film. If it's a comedy film, it's a comedy film. If it's a small film, it's a small film. It's a big film, it's a big film. It doesn't matter. And this is what I was trying to tell, but somehow it seems very complicated. I don't know why. To put it more simply, I have, if you ask me if there are any interesting female lines that are running in my mind, there are two lines. One is a line about a queen called Rani Apakka from the Kerala Karnataka region, She had many people doesn't know about her, but she has got a fantastic historic history and very, very what do you say, emotional and lot of pumping action, very high heroic moments that keeps running in my mind. And there is one psychological thriller, one of my friend who told me the line, which I thought is also very interesting, which is completely female oriented. Those lines also run in my mind. But like I said, at the point of writing, whichever line grabs my heart, I'll be going with that.
That's amazing, sir. And sir, would you want to explore the web space, the OTT space?
I would really love to. For one reason is that I have been saying this for a long time. A storyteller wants his story to be heard by more number of people, and OTT provides you that. It reaches to far nook and corners of the globe, and so many people can listen to your story. That is a very, very tempting proposition. But what scares me is that from my childhood, my whole idea of storytelling is for the big screen. I have grown up seeing films in the theater, like we were talking earlier, the community experience of watching a film together, laughing together, crying together, emoting together. That is how I conceive the stories. Now, to take away that completely and have a personalized experience, I know the power of OTT, but it is just that I'm scared. I really want to try out, but I'm scared to get out of this beautiful experience called cinema. Probably at some point of time, I have to do that because, like I'll tell you, a film storyteller is greedy. He needs more audiences. At present, I'm happy because I can tell my film in cinema, on television, on OTT. I'm happy with this space, but let's see what the future holds.
All right. Sir, Amir Khan called you the real Raja Hindustani at the success party. You, while answering a question to one of the journalists, said that your aim of making a film is to appeal to the child in you. It can be an actual child. It can be the child that is there in a 65-year-old. Prithvi Raj, when he recently launched the trailer of KGF in Malayalam, he compared Prashant Neel with Rajamouli, S.S.Rajamouli, that he's having the similar sort of potential. So you become that yardstick. That element of yardstick, which is, I think, in the Indian film industry, I think very, very rarely we have seen that happening. We've had various pockets, Bollywoods, Malayalam, Tamil, but all India, I think you become this rare phenomenon. You said you aim to cater to that child in their audience. What about that child within you who wants to make that film? How do you keep that disciplined and not get affected? I asked you something similar in the beginning. I'm asking you once again, taking these various contexts into mind.
See, when I say I like to appeal to the child in you, what is the childlike quality is like if you look at the child watching something interest, his mouth will go open and his eyes will go wide and he'll be just like watching it, absorbing that amazing thing, whatever it is. That is what the children has many qualities. I'm talking about that particular quality where they just forget everything and watch or absorb something, an amazing thing. And I do the same thing. I do the same thing, whether it's a small joke or whether it's a great photograph or anything on a small screen. I get mesmerized by those things. Luckily, I don't need to do anything to do to myself. The quality is inbuilt in me, that is hardwired into my head, and I think the childlike quality is hardwired into every person's head. I just need to tickle it with my stories.
Right. So in my last interview in the Rapid Fire, I had asked you about superstardom, and you mentioned that when a star can bring audience on his own esteem in a theater. That is what is called superstar. Now that superstar is someone called S.S. Rajamouli. That people come into the theaters now. No, sir, this is true. This is true because I can give you examples when stars worked with you and they've been huge, but maybe after when they worked in other movies, the results have not been that huge. So I think somewhere you are the star. So what is that box office mantra that only S.S. Rajamouli knows and no one else knows?
No, let me correct you a little bit. I'm aware that I have a certain number of fans. I'm aware that they want to come to the movie looking at my name. I'm aware of it. I'm not saying I'm not aware of it. But the difference between a star and a director is that they come to my films thinking that, assuming that I'll tell them a good story.
Wow.
No, they don't come to watch me. They want to come to watch my story. But with the star is that they don't care about the story. They want to come to watch the star himself. That is a whole lot of difference. So one or two flops, my yardstick will be thrown out. But even 10 flops, the star will still be a star. Because they're coming to watch him, not the story. That's the difference between the star and director.
So once again, you're displaying your humility, which is so amazing. So your next, I believe, is with Mahesh Babu. If you can please share some thoughts on it.
Like I was telling my father, just please give me some time. Let me enjoy this success. Give me a little bit time. It's hardly 2 weeks since my film has released. So let me. See, we have this habit of the whole family sitting together and discussing everything, what we could have done better. Is there something that we have learned in creatively or in the production? Could we have made it a tighter screenplay? All these things, we have a very, very, very honest discussion. Once the discussion is done, then is that when we close the book. When we close the book is that when my mind is free to jump into the next film. Of course, we dabbled with a few thoughts. At this point of time, the only thing I can say is it's an action adventure, no doubt about it. It is a big screen entertainment, but I haven't locked into anything as of yet.
Prabhas, for example, then Jr.NTR and Ram Charan, now Mahesh Babu. Do you also in some way in the back of your mind, you obviously are a storyteller and that is so unique and amazing. But do you keep the fan base of a particular star in mind as to what exactly is it that fans really like about that particular star? Like say, for example, Mahesh Babu. Is there something about his personality?
I do. I do in the sense. Once I start writing the story, I myself become a fan of that star. No, I adore my character and I just look up to him, and I want him to give me certain kind of emotion and highs. Right, so I become starry-eyed as long as I'm working with that particular star. So it is easy for me to connect with the fans.
Yes.
So I understand what the fans are looking from the actor. And being said that, I am also aware fans make a lot of noise, and that gives us a lot of enjoyment. But the real patterns of the film are the general audience.
Wow, absolutely.
Those are the people who needs to come and watch and approve your theater. They don't make a lot of noise. They come, silently watch the film. They don't review the film. They just say it is good or bad and go away. But those are the people who make your film a success or a failure. So we should always keep the general audience in mind, and also aspirations of the fans, what the fans need from the star, because stars, the fans are the glitter, right? The icing on the cake. I can say that, yeah. The fans are the icing on the cake, and the general audience are the cake itself.
So this is so beautifully said, because we have seen it on so many occasions that, as you said, the fans are on the icing, but it is a general public which is not really particular fan of anyone. They just want to watch good film. Yes. And they are the ones who make a film a success or flop. That's so beautifully said, sir. So one last question to you: the world watches your cinema. What is it that Rajamouli likes to watch? What is it that you like to read?
anything that completely engrosses me. I have to get into the world that the storyteller is trying to tell. You know,
Wow.
it should just make me forget who I am. It should make me forget my surroundings. There are certain books which I read, which is the book I forgot. Alistair MacLean's "The Eagle Has Landed." I think I forgot the book. I remember laying on my bed and reading the book continuously for some 2 days, 48 hours, just getting up to eat and nothing else. I haven't slept. I slept maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours in between, and I was just reading the book, turning every page. That's the kind of involvement I need from the storyteller. He should completely suck me into that world.
Wow.
It doesn't matter which world it is. It doesn't matter how he does it. But I need that kind of involvement in the story.
That's so fascinating. So thank you very much for your time. Congratulations once again. It's hugely inspiring to talk to you, and all the best wishes for all your future ventures. And I'm sure that the success of Triple R will continue. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Faridoon, and I'll go back and do my Naacho Naacho again.
Please, sir, go ahead. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.